Hope you had a good weekend. Maybe you were at the UK Games Expo or just celebrating Tabletop Day on your own back at home. Either way, we are here, Roll for Crit, to give you your new releases from the past week for this week of June 3rd, 2019. The Ancient World 2nd edition is available now. This is the 2nd edition of The Ancient World, designed by Ryan Laukat, which includes some updated components and cards, and now the titans in that game can attack you. Doppelt So Clever is the next game, which is a sequel to Ganz Schön Clever. It means twice as clever, so you will have to be twice as clever to play this roll and write game that goes along the same lines as the original did. The Expanse, the sci-fi TV show, has its own RPG now, and they have officially released the core rulebook as well as a Game Master's kit, so if you're a fan of that show, you can check that one out. Gloomhaven, a game that is gigantic, is now going to be even larger. It has its new expansion released, Forgotten Circles, which adds a bunch of new scenarios as well as a brand new character class and some monsters that you can add into your existing campaign. High Risk is a new game from Yellow, a small game, a mini game if you will, about mountain climbing. It's a push your luck game where you're rolling dice to see how high up the mountain you can climb. And then KeyForge, Age of Ascension is now available as well, both the starter set and individual decks you should be able to find somewhere near you. Of course, this is the brand new expansion series for the popular KeyForge game from Fantasy Flight and Richard Garfield, which debuted last year.
From Paizo, we have Pathfinder, the adventure card game. But this is a new core set. This is not new in the sense of like when they have Curse of the Mummy or one of their stories. This is actually a revised edition of the original base set, which has some streamlined rules and components. We have Planet from Blue Orange, which actually is a game where you have your own little magnetic sphere-ish like object where you actually take tiles to place on them and make your own little planet and try to get the most animals there. We've got Things from the Flood, which is the sequel from the RPG book of Tales from the Loop, which, if you're a Stranger Things fan, probably something you want to look into. We've got another Versus expansion, Versus Children of the Atom, the Utopian Battles. This is based around the comics with a similar name, and from what I can tell, that's mostly X-Men related stories. And finally, we have Waters of Nereus, where I probably mispronounced, where it's a pirate game that was actually one of our Kickstarter pickstarters.
I remember that. It was good times back in the day.
Oh, yes.
So I think obviously, well, maybe not obviously. What do you think? What do you think is the biggest release this week that people might be looking forward to? There's a couple big contenders.
My money's on KeyForge, only because the Gloom one, I was a Kickstarter. Gloomhaven, wow.
You don't want to get that confused.
Yeah, very different. And like I actually received that earlier. It was on the set a little while back, so I'd just say the KeyForge is going to be the thing that no one has yet.
Right. That's the new hotness. Also, I'm guessing, KeyForge, you could buy that set and probably start playing it right away. Gloomhaven expansion, you're probably going to buy and then say, when can we get to play this? Oh, wait, did we actually finish the first campaign? I'll put this will maybe happen in like 4 months at best.
I will say, I really do want to play Planet.
Planet looks cool. I remember when people were kind of talking about that, thinking it might be kind of one of those games that Spiel des Jahres might look at as a contender, which didn't happen this year at least. But yeah, it sounded like a very neat concept. Anytime there's some kind of weird tangible object to get to play with, I like that. The Pathfinder core set I think is interesting because one of the things that I read they're trying to do with this is that previously, like you were alluding to, whenever they had a new story, they had a new base set for each storyline. And what they want to do going forward is have this be the only base set you ever need, and the rest will just be expansions and add-ons you can use with it.
I think they're trying to go more like the LCG route, like how Arkham has, or you just get a bunch of little chapter packs.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't keep up with it, and I didn't even play it and those boxes were huge too.
I think that's really the big thing.
Like how much people must have had.
But I've heard some people complaining like they like how it was before. There's always things.
Yeah,
so we'll see how it
actually, how the components actually play out and stuff. But I think the ideas are good.
I know we need to really show off the Tales from the Loop because you really that's like the perfect setting for you. So I'm sure this expansion is just more goodies for you.
Yeah, the aesthetic of that series is really cool. And yeah, Things from the Flood is supposed to be darker. It takes place, I believe it's in the 90s, whereas the original one's more of an 80s thing. So, like, your characters are older, they can die.
When Jonathan means darker, he actually just means the lights darker because it's all neon lights.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. So hopefully very soon we'll also have some KeyForge content covering the new Age of Ascension expansion. But we want to hear from you. Which of these do you think are the biggest releases this week? Are you out there playing them? Did you manage to get Gloomhaven to the table? Are you playing RPGs? What are you doing? Talk to us in the comments down below, and we will read them with our eyeballs. Until we see you again, though, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Will.
And this was Roll for Crit.
Hey, go ahead, like and subscribe, and support our Patreon for even more board game content.
Support us now to hear the audio expansion, where you can hear all the other nerdy things we've been up to.